Good morning, Malaysia. Good morning, the Philippines. Good morning, world. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat, mga Pilipino, mga kapatid ko. Ito po si Nico Fabian once again, nandito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And welcome po kayong lahat dito sa programa. And we have some issues to be discussed or to discuss today. Today is beautiful Friday. Thanks God, it's a Friday. And of course, today it's March 7 na po, no? March 7 and time is running too fast. Just few months ago, January, we celebrated the ushering of the New Year 2025, and now we are already on the third month of the year, and it is March 7. Ito na po, no? Ito na po. And I noticed also po that the Philippines, which will be discussing, no? Busy po ang mga tao dyan sa Pilipinas, especially ang mga aspirants to be a public servants because we are paving or we are now moving towards the midterm election dyan po sa Pilipinas. And it is scheduled on May 12 po, no? May 12, wherein the Filipinos will once again hire the new batch of senators, 12 of them, vacant posts, 7 senatorial slate, and of course we will be electing our governors, our congressmen, our governors, vice governors, assemblymen, provincial assemblymen, if there is any. And then, of course, city, municipal mayors and vice mayors, and of course, city and municipal councilors po. So, it is a very big event, and yes, our decision will depend, or our future will depend on our decision come May 12 po. Let's make a wise and good decision po, no, in choosing our leaders for another term po, no, for another term. For the congressman, that will be another 3 years, and other public positions po for 3 years. And yes, for the senators, of course, given 6 years, but every 3 years out of the 24, 12 will be must go down again to the voters and seek for their support. So that's why we call presidential election, it means everybody, and midterm election, it means from senators down to municipal councilors po. Alright? So, ganito. And I notice, I don't know if you will agree with me, no? Whether you agree or not, but this is my observation. This is what I gathered during my humble survey I did here in Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, and specifically dito po sa Kota Kinabalu, city of Sabah. And I noticed that the majority or many of the Filipino voters, and not only voters, but Filipinos who are legally staying and residing, or legally working and residing in Malaysia, particularly in Sabah, including ang mga family members nila, as well as let's include na po ang mga illegal immigrants, dahil mayroon pa rin tayo dito mga Filipino illegal immigrants po. I noticed that many of them still says that Duterte pa rin. So does it mean that come May 12 election, ang mga kandidato ng mga partido ni Duterte, which is the PDP Laban, are they going to once again overwhelmingly support the candidacies of the Gong's candidates? 9 of them, remember, 9 of them, no? 9 of them, and of course, the group of PDP Laban is calling for a straight vote. Dahil po, they say, if they need a straight vote so that VP Sara, Inday VP Sara, or Vice President VP Sara will not be impeached, will not be found guilty during the impeachment trial is scheduled to jumpstart on official talaga, no? On July 30 po. The Senate session will start on June 2nd, right after the midterm election. Now, bakit kaya ang mga Filipinos, not only in Sabah, but also in many parts in the Philippines and overseas Filipino workers sa mga iba-ibang nasyon sa mundo, why is it that they still believe and support and wish to have the kind of leadership si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has shown to the Filipinos during his 6-year term as a president? Bakit po? No? Bakit po? No? Bakit? Na gusto na talaga ang mga Filipinos to return ang kind of leadership of the Dutertes, especially the leadership of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. And honestly speaking, I'll be frank with all of you. I still believe that we need the kind of leadership of Dutertes, especially si Digong, fondly called by many Filipinos as Digong. As Digong. Bakit kaya po? Now, based on my humble survey that I carried out dito po sa Sabah since the filing of the certificate of candidacy last October hanggang ngayon po, I keep on hearing ang mga repetitions, ang mga clamor, repeated clamor of the Filipinos dito sa Sabah, and even some in other parts in Malaysia, West Kuala Lumpur, the West Malaysian areas po, states po, no? And obviously, a lot of Filipinos are not happy with how the present Marcos Jr. administration is managing the country. Now, one of the issues they mention is first thing first, sabi nila, sabi ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, first thing first is that they're not happy with the announced 16.31 trillion debts ng Pilipinas ngayon po. Ang utang natin po, ang utang ng Pilipinas ngayon po is, you just imagine, 16.31 trillion pesos. Yon po. They are not happy. And the way how the Marcos administration, I'm sorry for the supporters of the Marcos team, no? But I'm just sharing these details or informations dito po sa programa ko po, no? Hindi itong fake news, but this is the real one, ang sentiments ng mga, sabihin natin, ang mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia. Sabi nila po, grabe, and we are not happy with how Marcos is running the Philippines. Bakit? We will talk it later on. In the meantime, shoutout tayo. Shoutout tayo kay Mary Lou Pentodio is watching our program today. And of course, si June. June Piago, no? He was also watching our program today. And other friends who is watching my program dito po sa Sabah, no? Ang mga kapatid natin po, mga Filipinos, mga countrymen who are watching my program today. And it's a daily program. Si Rex Paclar din po is watching now ang programa, and sabi niya, good morning sir. Sabi naman ni Mary Lou Pentodio, good morning to all the TikTok followers, and may God bless us all and the Philippines. Alright po. Now why? One is the moment ang Philippines, mayroon tayong 16.31 trillion pesos debt. Second is, many are saying that they are not happy with the how Marcos Jr. is administering ang country natin po. No? And then they're talking about what happened to PhilHealth, ang PhilHealth issue. They're talking about ang prices ng bigas natin po, mahal pa rin po, no? Ang bigas, ang gasolina, ang korupsyon dyan sa Pilipinas, tuloy pa rin. Ang droga, Ang droga compared to, according to them, compared to the time of Digong and the time of Marcos ngayon, grabe ang droga, illegal drugs dyan sa Pilipinas ngayon. Ang criminalities increased din po. At some are saying also, many of the government officials, elected politicians, they are abusing the powers. And they're not happy with how Marcos Jr. is dealing with the situation. He keep on zipping his mouth. Yun mga issues na malaking issues na kailangan talaga, and the Filipino people are waiting for any reaction from the president, si Bongbong Marcos po, on issues like, sabihin natin, ang flood mitigation, ang bigas po, ang mga major corruption expose, and other issues po. And even yung allegation sa kanya that is involved in drug activities, reportedly involved in drug activities, he keep on zipping his mouth, or he refused to publicly answer itong mga questions. And flood mitigation, yes po, ang problema. Ang transportation fees, public transportation fees is still going up, And ang education problems natin po sa Pilipinas, ang mga bata, ang mga facilities, ang mga benefits given to these children sa paaralan or sa eskwelahan po, Mahirap po ang bilateral relationship between the Philippines and other Asian countries, including United States, China, and other countries po. Problema po. And to sum it up, medyo hindi masaya mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia. Itong very important three issues po for any country like the Philippines, including the Philippines po. For us to progress, sabihin natin to progress and develop the country, and sabihin natin to level up the standard of living of every Filipino sa Pilipinas, kailangan itong three items po. Stabilities, political stability, security, and economic stability. Now, medyo mahina itong administrasyon ni Bongbong Marcos when it comes to ensuring political security. What is security? It means peace and order and economic stability. Nakita natin po, yon si President Marcos Jr. during right after taking over ang opisina ng presidente ng Pilipinas. Ang dami na po siya mga trips overseas. And ang dami na po mga MOUs, Memorandum of Agreement, Memorandum of Agreements na foreign investors are coming or will be coming down to the country to invest. But hanggang ngayon po, I don't know. Hanggang ngayon po, medyo we are still waiting for these investors to come. But how can the investors come to the Philippines kung wala tayong political stability, wala tayong security stability, and economic stability? I don't think so. Foreign investors will come to the Philippines and invest or expand their business in the Philippines po, kung ganon po ang problema ng Pilipinas. Walang stabilities, political, security, and economic po. And of course, ang mga benefits is also we have to consider. Ang mga tax holidays natin po, mahirap. In fact, even ang tourism sector natin po is being affected already sa number of tourist arrivals dyan sa Pilipinas compared to the previous years, to the previous years. I was made to understand even the arrival of Chinese tourists drop dyan sa Pilipinas. Drop dyan sa Pilipinas. Yeah, why? Because we don't have a good relationship between China and the Philippines. Ang West Philippine Sea conflict po, dyan is another very major factor na majority of the Filipinos are not happy with how the administration or Marcos administration is doing presently po. Yan ang mga problema po. No? Yan ang mga problema that we are facing, and hopefully, now that we are electing again our new set of elected officers po, public servants, I hope that tayo po, mga voters, will vote according to our conscience po. Let's go look back. Ano ang mga promesas sa itong mga kandidato who are now seeking re-election? What have they done for the country, for us po? Except maybe promises, and the promises, did they fulfill it? Ang mga campaign promises nila po. For example, si Marcos Jr., Bongbong Marcos, he promised before that 20 pesos per kilo ang bigas po once he will become a president. Natupad ba yun po? Wala. Ano nangyari po? Ang problema natin, ang tubig, ang electricity bills natin po, tumaas. Ang droga, rampant. You see? These are the things na I think we have to look into it before making your final judgment po on whom to vote come midterm election. And then mayroon pa tayo dito po. Instead of looking into the problem of the Philippines, mga major problems natin po, whether peace and order, droga, crimes, corruption po. Nauna pa ang mga kongreso natin po, no? Ang mga lawmakers natin dyan sa House of Representatives, ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. Diyan po. I don't know how you look at it. But for me, honestly speaking, I support the Duterte. This I can tell you now. I'm open. I'm supporting the Duterte not because of that particular person po. I'm supporting the Dutertes because I believe the kind of leadership that they have. And sana lang po, lahat mga kandidato ng PDP Laban, PDP Laban po, will continue to embrace and commit themselves to, sabihin natin, push through and strongly believe the kind of leadership ang party leader nila, si Digong Duterte, is telling them to do. Telling them to do. Diyan po. I will be very honest now. Hindi not as a journalist, as a Filipino citizen, I am now saying that I support the kind of leadership Digong has shown to us. And that is the reason why I am supporting that kind of leadership. Kung sakali po, si Marcos only followed ang footstep ni Digong, which he promised during the 22 presidential election po, siguro po, I will give my support to Bongbong Marcos po. I voted for him, Marcos, during the presidential election 2022. Dahil po, si Sara Duterte. Si Sara Duterte po. That is the truth. I was having second thoughts, 50-50 ako before, because although, yes, there are good things and bad things si Marcos Sr. did for our country. That I cannot deny. No? That I cannot deny. He did a lot of things good for the Philippines. And at the same time, as a human being, as a human being, may mga mali din siya po. Kasi hindi perfecto ang tao po, no? Hindi perfecto ang tao. So, that is the reason why nandun ako, I was supporting for the team unity between Marcos and Sara Duterte. That's why I even campaign, I even sabihin natin genuinely supported ang candidacy of Marcos, ang tandem Marcos and Inday Sara Duterte. But now, how I look at it, duda na ako po. Hindi lang duda. I think 90% convinced na ako po na unless Bongbong Marcos will do something and change his attitude in managing or strategies in managing the country, then I think if no changes, I think our country is going down to the drain. I'm sorry po, I'm just trying to be very honest when it comes to this. This is the reason why I decided last year to open up this channel po. So I will be able in one way or the other help ang mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia see the picture po. See the picture na what is really happening. You will be informed through my blogging po. You'll be informed on the latest updates regarding dyan sa Pilipinas, especially as we move towards the midterm election po. See? Because I want that itong mga, although hindi naman tayo sabihin natin na marami dito po sa Malaysia when it comes to the number of voters. But at least it will already help po. No? It will help. And at the same time, itong mga qualified voters dito sa Malaysia through the new technologies like handphone, email, and all these things po, mga internet facilities natin po, we will be able, or they will also be able to at least give their opinion and suggestions to their beloved ones they left in the Philippines, no? To make a wise decision during the midterm election. This is the purpose po why I am doing this po. It's not for monetary reasons. Kasi sabi nila, if you do blogging, then if you have a lot of viewers, then you will be earning po. No. My primary intention po is to give the real informations to my fellow countrymen dito po sa Malaysia. In the event, mayroon tayong blessings from the Almighty. It means makaano tayo, earn a little financial assistance from this blogging po. My intention is also to share it with our Filipino community dito po sa Sabah. Siguro if that the time will come, then I will be able also to share in case of emergencies encountered by the Filipinos dito po sa Sabah, particularly sa Sabah, in terms of siguro victims of calamities or may problema sila po in my own humble way. If my means ako po, I will not hesitate to share whatever blessings that I will receive, not only from God but from everybody, from everybody. So yun po. So this is the topic that I want to personally pass the message to all my followers. Okay, let's go to another topic. Talking about the Marcos administration. Medyo naduda ako po, no? And I'm wondering po, no? Bakit in less than or maybe slightly over 1 month, itong administration ni Bongbong Marcos po, why? 3 na cabinet minister nag-resign. Last month. In just a period of slightly over 1 month, 3 na po cabinet minister nag-resign. Ano ba ang problema? Problema ba doon sa leadership and trust ng leader nila? Or may problema talaga ang mga cabinet ministers who were resigned? Or is it they were removed? Sino-sino yan po? Okay, I will tell you sino-sino yan. Okay, the first one, nag-resign was the Department of Transportation, si Secretary Jaime Bautista. Second, ang PCO Secretary, si Cesar Chavez. And the most recent one yesterday was the DICT. In just over 1 month, 3 cabinet secretaries resigned from the post. I hope anybody from the Marcos administration can explain to us properly and tell us the truth. What is the reason behind for the resignations of these 3 cabinet ministers? 3 cabinet ministers. During the time, I hate to compare, but during the time of Digong, we did not see this kind of scenario po. Cabinet minister resigning left and right. Yan po, that's another thing that I want to raise in this program, po. And I also noticed po, no? I am monitoring itong mga poll surveys natin po. Okta, we have SWS, and we have Kalye survey, no? Kalye survey. Now, nakita ko, based on the Kalye survey, real time yan po, live sila, online sila po, they are asking ang mga botante, ang mga Filipinos po, kung ang preference nila ng mga kandidato, or if they want that Inday Sara will be impeached. Nakita ko po, dyan sa mga numerous or several Kalye survey that I monitored, karamihan po is not favoring the Marcoses. It's not favoring the Marcoses. But remember, survey is just a survey. The real survey will be on May 12 po. And of course, we have other firms, survey firms, putting up once a month or twice a month or every 2 months po mga survey nila po. And different results po. Different results po. It's up to you. But what I'm just trying to tell you is that ito po, this is my observation sa mga surveys po, no? Poll surveys carried out and published in various newspapers, radio, TV, and the social media platform po. Kayo nang bahala to believe the results or not, kayo nang bahala po. And nakikita natin po, lahat ng mga kandidato ngayon, especially for the senatorial slate, they are very busy going around the country to lure, to court ang mga voters po. My only advice to our voters is that let us lend our ears to them. Yun lang po, let us lend our ears to them. By doing so po, we will be able to gauge what kind of leadership itong kandidato o itong mga kandidato po. No? To see is to believe. Listen to them sa mga debates. Listen to them sa mga forums. Listen to them during campaign sorties po. No? And then from there, you make a decision. And once you make your decision, make sure that it is based on your conscience po. Attending debates, forums, and sorties po. Maybe may konting bonus natin. may bonus tayo dyan po. Because there are some groups, political parties po. And I think you already know this. They are distributing financial assistance po. Financial assistance via government departments like the SW Social Welfare Department, ang ACAP or whatever financial assistance that they are giving. So that is the reason why you see a lot of people goes to these sorties or campaign rallies po, especially kung mayroon mga assistance extended to them by this political party po. Ang grupo ni Duterte, ang PDP Laban, they don't give financial assistance po dahil obviously You're not in a position. You're not in a position po. And we look at it, despite wala silang distribution of financial assistance or any other kind of help, no? Ang dami pa rin tao. Ang dami pa rin na tao who go and attend ang mga rallies ng PDP laban. Dami din mga tao ang attending the rallies of Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas or spearheaded by Bongbong Marcos Jr. And one of the reason is because my financial assistance. I'm not saying anything, I'm just telling you ang observation ko po, no? Ang observation ko po. So hopefully, lahat itong mga political rallies nila po, ang crowd po, hopefully, they will be able to turn this crowd into a vote. No? Into a vote. And from there, kung they manage to turn this into a vote, and then maganda po. Maganda ang resulta, they will win. Kasi sa election po, dalawa lang yan po. Either you win or you lose. Either you win or you lose. But if you lose, mayroon pa yung pahabol po. Mga election complaints. Election complaints pa po. So, to avoid this election complaints, let's make sure tayo mga voters po, let us make sure that ang kandidato natin po will be overwhelmingly voted. Kasi mahirap na po kung malaki ang votes ng kandidato o ng partido, mahirap to cheat ang election. See? And then, of course, we as voters, let us be very, very observant kung nandyan tayo po sa polling centers. Let us make sure that, let us open our eyes and ears. No? And in the event we see any, sabihin natin, duda, activities dyan po, no? Happening sa presinto, then don't be afraid. Immediately report it to the authorities concerned po. Authorities concerned. So actions will be taken immediately. Action will be taken immediately. So ganun yan po ang sitwasyon, or this is what is happening, or ang sabihin natin ang observation ko po dito sa present situation sa Pilipinas po, sa Pilipinas, and based on my chichat marites sa mga Filipinos dito po sa Sabah. Ito ang sentimento nila dito sa Sabah. Huwag kayo magalit po. Walang personalan. Trabaho lang ito po. Me as a concerned na Filipino citizen, and as a journalist dito po sa Malaysia, looking after or giving some special attention to the Filipino communities po. To the Filipino communities. That is my observation. Okay, anong pang topic natin dito ngayon? Okay, regarding itong si Representative Ace Barbers at saka mga vloggers po, no? Mga vloggers, they file a case against Representative Ace Barber po. No? Sila Attorney Trixie Angeles. And may mga reaction din si Representative Ace Barbers po regarding sa cyber libel case filed against him by the group of Attorney Trixie Angeles po. Vlogger din ito si Attorney Trixie Angeles. And let me share you this clipping po. Let me share you itong clipping. Okay, let's start with ang comment ni Representative Ace Barber po regarding the issue. Let's listen to this. Hold on, Okay, sandali. Medyo okay. Let's listen to this. And kayo na bahala po. How you will take it. Hold on. Ito po, let's listen and you make your own decision. Ito po, ang interview ni Representative or Congressman Ace Barber. Barber po. Busy din yan po because ang misis niya, he's helping campaign sa candidacy ng misis niya po. Ng misis niya dyan saan ba ito? Surigao? Yeah, hold on.
Yes, can you let us know what your comment is on this?
Well, I just found out that there was a case filed against me just yesterday, I don't know when they filed it, but sabi ko nga, kasama naman yan Siyempre, takot yung mga yan humarap sa TRICOM. Takot yan mga yan in fact, ang kanilang basis for filing a libel case against me is a pure harassment case, para lang mahinto yung investigation at yung committee hearings ng TRICOM. Again, they're saying that tinawag ko raw silang narco-vloggers at pogo-vloggers. Totoo. Meron akong statement doon sa aking privileged speech na these vloggers who continuously throw fake news or peddle fake news against the government, against anybody in government, seems to be funded by these pogo vloggers and these narco vloggers. I did not name names. Kaya nga naintindihan naman ng abogado nila yan, Karen, and I'm sure it was delivered in a privileged speech, and the meat of the speech was about certain vloggers who follow the narratives of the Chinese in the West Philippine Sea issue. Vloggers who continuously attack the administration, people in the administration who seem to have been hurt by the campaign against pogos, against illegal drugs, and who could have funded this? Siyempre, ito yung mga narco syndicates, and mga pogo syndicates. And those who parrot, the narratives of these syndicates are perhaps being motivated by the amount of money that being paid. So siguro yun ang ko doon. Kaya nga dapat investigahan yun.
Yeah, so
Alright, yun ang statement ni Representative Ace Barber. This time around, let's listen ang side naman ni Attorney Trixie Angeles. Hold on po. Mag full screen tayo po. Full screen tayo sa kanya. Hold on, ha? Hold on. Okay, full screen tayo. Andito po ang side ni Attorney Trixie Angeles.
Dito may disparity, may pagkakaiba. Congressman yung kalaban namin dito. Ang isang kongresista, bukod sa bahagi siya ng isang body, ng legislature na may power of the purse, may power gumawa ng batas, may influence, may mandato, may power to cite in contempt, may power, pandami niyang powers. Kami, ang sinasandalan namin ay ang aming mga karapatan sa ilalim ng saligang batas. Karapatan magsalita at magpahayag. Karapatan na magpulong-pulong. Karapatan na mag-petition for redress of grievances. Garantisado ng saligang batas. Pero, may ini-endanger nila yung karapatan na yan Kami mga ordinaryong mamamayan, meron kaming sinasandalan, pero kahit yon gusto nilang salagin, gusto nilang i-corrupt. Kasi yun lang ang nakikita natin dito. Nasa kanila na lahat, may pera sila, may power sila. Kayang-kaya nila kaming i-cite in contempt. Tingnan niyo yung pampapalakura nila sa amin during the hearing. They said that because they can. Kaya nilang i-threaten yung lisensya ko. I'm the only lawyer here. And the only reason they were asking for my disbarment is dahil hindi ako nagpakita sa hearing. Pero entitled ako dun. Sa sarili nilang mga rules. Entitled ako to notice. Bukod pa dyan, anong ginawa ko bilang isang abogado? Kinwestiyon ko ang legalidad ng hearing na yon, which is my right as a citizen. Pero, isa sa usapan dun, pag-aralan natin paano natin ito padidisbar. And they said that in the safety of their parliamentary immunity. Bukod pa dyan, Congressman Paduano. And then, Congressman Barbers also says, she's a lawyer. She should be advising her friends what to do. Tinuruan mo ba ako? What about you, Mr. Barbers? You aren't a lawyer. presume to know what I can and cannot do. Baka gusto niyong i-look up yung ambulance chasing. But he said that because he can. No matter how uninformed. Thank you, Mark. No matter how uninformed. Yeah? No matter how out of place. No matter kung paano siya makapanira, kaya niyang sabihin yun. Ang gusto niya, kunin niya yung karapatan namin na magsalita. In the same way that he does. Pwede tayong magsalita to check our government officials. Kasi nakaupo sila, by the power of our vote, nakaupo sila being paid by our taxpayers' money. Pero gusto nila limitahin yung karapatan na yon under the guise of fake news. O sige, fake news? Hindi man nila ma-define ng fake news. Aminado sila walang batas sa fake news. Aminado sila na even the press secretary says, pag-aaralan pa namin. And Congress's inquiry is pag-aaralan pa namin. Pero anong ginawa nila nung di kami dumating? Nagpa-imbestiga sa BIR kung nagbabayad kami ng buwis. Tayo ba may power to do that? Taxes, our tax returns are confidential in nature. In the same way na pinakialaman ng mga kongresista ang COA reports tungkol kay Vice President Inday, na confidential habang hindi pa tapos yung pagsusuri, gayon ang ginagawa sa aming tax returns. Sino ba sa kanila ang willing na magpakita ng kanilang salin? Ha? Kung gusto niyo lumaban, sige, pero magdidemand ako laban batas. I'll show you you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Yes. Labas na salin nyo. Labasan. Labasan ng pera. Gusto nyo. Sa kanila, meron. Sa kanila, yung parliament, kaya kami sa 40s. Ipapasok tayo sa dollars. Sila may hidden wealth, kami may hidden poverty. Ano ba? Unexplained poverty. Baka malaman yung akabang-akabang ko yan. Social climber.
Bukod sa salin, may liquidation din, ha?
Ayun. O nga pala. At habang nandito na rin lang tayo, labas nyo na rin kung paano nagka-blanco yung BICAM report. Ang dami ninyong gustong kalkalin sa amin from the safety of your immunity. Pwes, may limitasyon din po ang immunity ninyo. Bukod pa dyan, dumudulog sa Korte Suprema ang ilang mga grupo tungkol dun sa mga ginagawa ninyo at tupagin nyo kaya yung depensa nyo.
Okay, that's the segment of sabihin natin Trixie or Attorney Trixie Angeles. Yun po, one of the vloggers po, very vocal when it comes to the administration of Bongbong Marcos. Before she was part of the Marcos administration, and may kunting problema sila doon. Then she left. She made it very clear that she left. She was not sabihin natin na kick out from the post, no, as a spokesperson of the president, no, as the spokesperson of the president. Ganon yan po ang sitwasyon. Alright? So, kayo na bahala maghusga sino who is right and who is wrong. What I'm doing is I'm just showing you ang facts, facts ng sitwasyon dyan po sa Pilipinas when it comes to bloggers versus itong House of Representative, ang TRICOM committee, no? Ang TRICOM committee. Alright. I will, kasi mayroon din ako na receive mga, sabihin natin, messages for the past few days, even early this morning, they were asking me if I will be touching on issues dyan po sa Zamboanga City regarding ang election po, no? And yes, I will be touching this, or I will be sharing you with some information regarding itong Zamboanga City election and other parts in Mindanao, especially ang BARM po, no? Kumusta ang election nila or campaign period nila po kung mag-start na this month, later this month, no? I will do that only when the official campaign period will kick off later this month po, no? Later this month. I will, I promise you, I will give you some footages of what is happening dyan po sa, sabihin natin, dyan po sa Zamboanga City. So, in the meantime po, hold on lang tayo po, no? Kasi hindi pa nag-umpisa ang, sabihin natin, campaign period ng mga local positions. So, maghintay lang tayo. But anyway, I noticed mayroon na nag-start na din ang mga firing of words against each other to itong mga kandidato po sa Zamboanga City. And I will share you one brief sabihin natin footage wherein nandyan na po, mayroon ng mayroon na it is becoming hotter now dyan sa Zamboanga po, no? Sa Zamboanga between the outgoing deputy speaker or majority leader ng Senate ng Kongreso, House of Representatives, si Congressman or Representative Manix Dalipe, who is also the District 2 Congressman of Zamboanga City, and ang District 1 Congressman ng Zamboanga City, si Kimer Olaso po, no? Medyo nag-start na sila ang away-away dyan po. And hopefully, hindi na to, this will not go down to, sabihin natin, hitting below the belt na po, no? We will stick to the issue lang sa campaign period. Kasi this is what we need to know, ang mga voters po, mga bibiyentes sa Zamboanga. This is what they want to know. How can you help further develop ang Zamboanga City? How can you level up sabihin natin, ang buhay ng mga Zamboangueño dyan sa Zamboanga? Let's listen to this po. Very brief lang ito. Para at least meron lang kayo kunting idea what is happening in Zamboanga City. You hold on, ha?
No, si Ancina class. No, si Ancina klase mga leader dyan ng Zamboanga, dilikon Zamboanga. No, hindi stable eh. Buko problema, diferensya. Si kumigo gani, making kosa-kosa sila kumigo di ba? Fake news, ta-inventa, kosa-kosa sila ta-inventa, pero hindi kita akin doon bisoy bata, doon ka lalo ga tornilyo, taman react. Stable kita sa leader.
Well, dapat yung senes nila, kaya haluga ang tornilyo. Kaya ang presidente ng Pilipinas. Diba? Yan nila state is, yun yung sila. But I don't think so. I'm emotionally unstable. We're stable. And probably...
Alright. Yan po, no? Yan po. May kunting na sila dyan dahil ang exchange of war of words na between Olaso and Dalipe. Dalipe was wearing the white polo shirt, and si Olaso was wearing the red t-shirt po. I just showed to you the brief footage of what transpired between Olaso or Dalipe and Olaso yesterday po dyan sa Zamboanga. So, mainit na, and let's see, come the kailan ba yun? March 28 yata yun. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, I will inform you kung kailan talaga po the start of the official campaign period for the local positions po. From congressmen down to the city councilors, municipal councilors po. Yun po. That is the latest developments na mayroon tayo. So, to the Zamboangueño residents, hinay-hinay lang kita, no? And dali kita tiempo para uwi. Mga kandidato pwede habla durante el diila, sabihin natin el diila kampanya alina Zamboanga. Uwi kita buenamente y después hace kita el di aton desisyon. Naman kita cree cosa sila habla, mira también kita si tiene ba sila capability to make sure that whatever promises they throw to us, no, during the campaign period po, they can make it a reality. Imbonamente, bisya kita pakilayat ang kampanya el mga kandidato diaton ali na Zamboanga. Mga media din po, no? Sa Zamboanga, ang dami din na tayong mga kaibigan dyan sa Zamboanga, sa media. Now, as much as possible, try to ask questions sa kanila. Yan mga importanteng questions kagaya, who are you? What have you done? What have you done? Ang performance nila kung re-election sila po. And what are your plans? Itong mga neophytes, no? What are your plans on how to solve or to achieve ang political stability, ang security, ang economic stability dyan sa city of Zamboanga during the campaign period. So with this, Nico Fabian once again would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. I hope that tomorrow, weekend na naman tayo po, you will enjoy your Saturday and Sunday weekend holidays po. And make sure, don't forget that both ang kapatid natin, our brothers and sisters embracing the Islam faith, and all the Roman Catholic believers, ang mga Christians who are also already started the fasting month, 40 days fasting month, no? Last Wednesday, Ash Wednesday po, and they will continue until 40 days po, no? So let us all work together and make sure that both Islam and Christianity will have, itong mga faithfuls po, will have a solemn fasting period po, this year, 2025, March and April. So again, thank you very much and God bless us all. See you tomorrow. Bye.